So everyone, today I'm sitting down with Aaron from Stuart Design, and the reason is we want to talk about the signature process or the signature offer, as I call it sometimes. And Aaron has a great story to tell on how important and actually what the benefits of that exercise really is for a creative studio. And Stuart Design is what are you, an identity design studio?
Brand consultancy.
Brand consultancy. Okay. So what do you do?
Well, we help small businesses do big things through brand clarity.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So when we introduced, like when we first talked about the idea of the three-step process, clarity, creativity, control,
Mhm.
what was your biggest learning out of that?
So when we first worked together, we were really just doing the same thing as everyone else. We were a award-winning branding agency specializing in logo design. So, there's probably, tens of thousands of people that would claim the same thing, right? And when we were talking in some of our coaching sessions, you helped us see that we were really undervaluing all this work that we were doing for free for people, helping them shape some of their strategy, helping them shape some of their key messaging and advertising and campaigns, and just kind of throwing that in there on top of, hey, here's your logo. But also we did this campaign for you that's very thoughtful and targeted to these people and has things like a mission statement or something alongside it. So we were kind of just doing that and lumping that in, and you helped us to slow down and think about, like, what is it that we're really giving people? The logo is one thing and that's great, but what is it behind that, and what is that really for?
So, so now you're actually offering this as a separate package, right?
A completely standalone. That's our first step. It's our phase one. We took the page out of David C. Baker's Business of Expertise, the two rooms, right? You've got the execution room and the strategy, or the strategy and execution room, and you have to go through strategy to get to execution.
So, and you actually charge for that now? That was something you didn't charge before, right?
Yeah, that's actually charged exactly the same base rate as any deliverables that we create. So it's about 50-50 there on the front end.
Okay, so do you actually make more money now? Because like your budget sizes, did they increase or not?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started out somewhere around, I think it was like about 5 to 10K was pretty average when we first worked together for a logo project. And that's really all it was. It was just a logo project, and we'd have all that stuff on kind of just for free, right? But now we've quantified it, we've codified it, we've organized our thoughts, and it's probably closer to 20 to 30,000 on average for a project. And it's about 10K if that's the strategy.
Well, that's pretty damn amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Cool. So what was the big benefit for your clients? I mean, you separated the two stages. Like, why are people now buying into this actually much higher price?
Because it's a bigger problem. So even in the way that we handle our process now, we talk about it like, this is more like a doctor trying to figure out your problem. We're not just going to rush in and go to open heart surgery. Like, you can tell us all your symptoms all you want, but we're not going to just assume that they're right. We need to validate those, and we need to see, what's the long-term business goal? What does this do other than just being a beauty contest? So that was really, a lot of those beliefs are what shaped the processes that we made. Was, hey, we believe these things. We believe that there's no sense trying to take on a project where we don't know what's the reason, what's the impact. I don't want this to be a wasted expense.
So for your clients, I mean, I get that, but what's the added value for the clients now?
The added value for the clients is that we're helping them identify and solve a real problem, and we're giving them clarity on who they are, on who they're for, on how they're really different, not just how they look different.
So and that how they're really different is, so you create claims, right? You create slogans, you create value propositions now, all those things that actually bring some verbal clarity to the brand as well. And by that, clients actually, I mean, do they find themselves? Is that something you could say? Like they have a clear idea of who they are and what they stand for?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people afterwards, they'll be like, hey, this is kind of like therapy for me, right? Like, we're talking through this, these, like, where'd you come from? How'd you get here? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Why do you really need to be here? Like, what's this really about? We ask questions like, would you do this if there wasn't money involved? And try to get to the heart of, okay,
Damn.
so what is this really for you? You could do anything with your life, and anyone could choose to work with any business in the world. Why would they choose to work with yours? And really just pushing that issue and pushing it and cutting that down to, yeah, like you said, a few of those key statements and getting that out in the world for people.
Dude, you came a long way since we first talked to each other. That
Yeah,
was like,
absolutely.
that's pretty amazing. Seriously, this is top notch. Really, really good.
Yeah.
So now you actually have this clarity workshops where you create the messaging and create the value or help them to find their voice, something like that.
Mhm.
Then you create the assets. I guess you also do like brand guidelines or something, or logo guidelines, application examples, right?
So, after you have the diagnose, which is really just our kind of fit conversations and some of those early preliminary things of, hey, what are your challenges and objectives? We go into that prescription, which is like you've talked about of this, I'd say more of this strategic and verbal clarity.
Mhm.
And then the prescription is all of that coming together, including the visual language. So we still do the logo for people on the back end. That's still, I think, one of our strengths
Yeah.
in terms of the deliverable. And we do, the guidelines and different ads and campaigns and some of the basic things to get people started with maybe another digital agency to do some
Oh,
animation,
nice.
video, and those type of things. But really kind of passing the baton there in a lot of ways to be available for different consultation to say, they're working with a third party. We can help them make sure that it's consistent and clear and work on future campaigns.
Ah, okay, so the process is for you the clarity, the creation of the assets, and then you actually consult and actually you pass them on, but also you kind of stay in charge, stay in the lead. Is that what you
Yeah,
do?
in a lot of cases, we're still very involved. If they're working on a website with someone else, they'll say, "Hey, we come check this out for us," and we'll review stuff like that. Or this last week, it was some of the permanent signage on site for a company. They're like, "Hey, this company put this together for us, but we know it's not quite right, and I don't know why. Like, will you help us make sure it's consistent with our guides?" And
Yeah, perfect. So actually, that's amazing. You actually position yourself for long-term relationship with the client. They trust you now, and they come back. And that's all because you help them actually to find themselves, to find their voice, not only their visual, but also their like the verbal identity, right?
yeah, I mean that's the hope, right? We hope to be irreplaceable in the long term. That's good positioning, right? You don't want to be substituted for someone else. So if another agency comes along and they're like, "Well, hey, we can take care of all this for you. We're the same." We hope that they'd say, "No, you're not." Right? So,
Awesome. Aaron, last question. Super impressive, by the way. But last question. How did the client acquisition process change for you? Are you still having the same kind of clients? Do you attract different clients? Is it easier or is it harder even to find those new clients that actually have bigger budgets?
I'm just taking a couple minutes. I'd say overall we're attracting different clients.
Mhm.
The the interesting thing about when you're more selective with the clients that you take on and the project you take on is that you start to attract more of their friends, right? You start to connect with their circles and you work with the people that value this clarity and the people that have real goals that they're trying to change and they're not just looking for this, quick in and out, hey, here's my logo, just put this together for me. You get a lot more businesses like that.
That's
So
amazing.
it's still a lot of small businesses. We've actually, in a lot of ways, we've opened up our opportunity, but we've lowered our ceiling, and we love that. Like we're not chasing after boardrooms, we're not chasing after the best branding agency in the world. We just want to help small businesses, right? So we've kind of capped that, and we're trying to still refine. What's that ceiling for us? Where's our sweet spot within that? But the opportunities are, like I said, I mean, they're 2, 3, 4 times what they used to be. So I think that in a lot of ways it's easier because you do have more of that selectivity on the front end to say, is this really a good fit or are you looking for someone else? And we can send them somewhere else if they need that. But if they really do have a big problem and they understand the value and it's important for them, then yeah, it's a great fit. And it's really easy to work with them because they love that.
I love that. But here's okay, one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last, final question. What's your message to all the studios out there that struggle with the idea to actually qualifying people up front and leaving money on the table, not taking just any opportunity, right? You've gone through this process and you came out the other end. What's your message?
That's a good question. I think the harder that you work to make sure it's a good fit, the happier you'll both be. And when you're trying to qualify someone, your last job is to convince them to work with you. You want to help them make a good decision, really to make a good decision for them, to help them grow. And if that's not true of that situation, it's not a good fit. If they're really just looking for that superficial beauty contest image or some quick in and out, and that's not what you're trying to give them, then it's not a good fit.
But isn't that sometimes scary?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's hard. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. Even internally, Blake and I have had a lot of back and forth with that of like, hey, this could be a good project, or hey, we're slow right now, but it all compounds. The more you keep doing the work you've always done, the more you'll keep getting that work. The more you start taking on better clients, fewer clients of better value, not only financially, but better value of the shared beliefs and the shared expectations, that you'll keep getting that. Like we can be a testament to that. We've had probably half as many projects as we did last year, but our total numbers are about the same. So you can see, like, we don't have to even work as much, but we can help companies do more, and we can just be able to make more of an impact. So I think you just kind of get stuck in that sink or swim. There's a little bit of the struggle with saying no, that you're losing out. But I would just encourage everybody to be selective. Is this really a good fit for what you're good at, for what you want to do, and to really spend some time about what is it that you really want to do. Like, if you want to be the logo design maker that just kind of slings stuff out and does quick jobs for people to help them get started, I think there's an opportunity for that, right? Like, somebody can do that, and I don't want to talk down on that situation that people could be in, but if you are really trying to help a business grow, it's way more than just something visual.
Well said. Aaron, thanks for your time. Really appreciate you taking the call today. And it's just perfect, for everyone in the class, in the community, to understand that where this actually can lead to. Right now, you're the perfect example. You increased your revenue, you actually increased your margins, and you work less, have better clients. So well done, really well done. I'm impressed. Aaron, thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
And see you in the community. Thanks.
Good.
Now press stop.